Alright, so this is our week 2 text. Both texts are going to be about Mulan, so this is just like the opening introduction to those two texts. Today you guys are going to be focused on just the Ballad of Mulan, and then you'll take a look at tomorrow, Mulan joins the army. So one is a poem, and one is a screenplay that you would use to act out. The first one's the poem, the second one is the screenplay. It's going to be kind of difficult to keep them apart. Just know that one is titled The Ballad of Mulan and the other one is Mulan Joins the Army. That way you can kind of make sure you're looking at the right text for the right assignment. And let's get started. One of the most famous Chinese heroines, Hua Mulan, is a symbol of loyalty and family devotion. Both qualities are greatly admired in the Chinese culture. The tale of a young woman who disguises herself as a man and joins the army to keep her aging father, a retired general, out of combat is one of China's most enduring stories. I'm sure most of you guys have seen the Disney version of Mulan. It's one of my favorite movies. The subject of poems and plays, Mulan is often included in Chinese textbooks as well. An animated Disney movie from 1998 helped popularize the story in the United States. As with King Arthur, historians debate whether Mulan was a real person, though some believe she probably lived during the Northern Wei dynasty. The first known written account of Mulan is a ballad from the 6th century. An expanded and enhanced version of the poem appeared hundreds of years later during the Ming dynasty. From that version, the legend of Mulan grew, and like the legend of King Arthur, took on new dimensions. Whether Mulan was real or not, the story stems from historical truth. In the time that Mulan lived, the Chinese emperor forced one man from every family to join his army to protect against invaders. In the area of China where Mulan was from, it was not uncommon for people to be trained in martial arts, archery, and fencing. So once outfitted in her father's old uniform and with her hair shorn, that means cut off, Mulan could pass as a soldier. According to the story, Mulan remained a soldier for around 12 years until the army defeated the enemy and she returned home. Mulan has become a role model for Chinese girls who admire her courage and devotion to family. The story has considerable appeal in modern times because of its theme of gender equality. On the following pages, read an English translation of the original poem. Then, to see how a story in one genre can be reinterpreted in another, read an English translation of a scene from a popular Chinese film from 1939. So, as you can see, we're going to be looking at a poem today, and then tomorrow you'll have another read aloud that looks at the screenplay. Alright, so here is the Ballad of Mulan. So this is the poem that we are looking at today. Before we get started, let's just take a minute to look at this photo over here of Mulan on her horse. You can see that her hair isn't exactly short, but it is shorter than most ladies of the day would have it. Most ladies would have hair probably down to here. So this is acceptable for a man's type of hairstyle. And notice all her armor and stuff is very ornate. It's very decorated. It's very colorful, patterned. Her horse as well, right? So these are showing you that she's really taking on this role of a soldier. She's really got all of the accoutrement for her whole getup here. Let's go ahead and read this poem together out loud and pay attention. When you see these little numbers right here in the poem, they're telling you what they mean down here. So hai means to go. Chengyang. I'm probably going to mess up a lot of these words because they're Chinese almost, but this is the capital of China, today known as GM. Okay. The Ballad of Mulan. Say, maiden at your spinning wheel, why heave that deep-drawn sigh? Is it fear, perchance, or love you feel? Pray tell, oh, tell me why. Nor fear nor love has moved my soul. Away such idle thought! A warrior's glory is the goal, by my ambitions sought. My father's cherished life to save, my country to redeem, the dangers of the field all brave, I am not what I seem. No son has he his troop to lead, no brother dear have I, So I must mount my father's steed, and to the battle hie. At dawn of day she quits her door, at evening rests her head, where loud the mountain torrents roar, and mail-clad soldiers tread. The northern plains are gained at last, the mountains sink from view, the sun shines cold, and the wintry blast, it pierces through and through. 1,000 foes around her fall, and red blood stains the ground. But Mulan, who survives it all, returns with glory crowned. Before the throne they bend the knee, in the palace of Chang'an. Full many a knight of high degree, but the bravest is Mulan. "Nay, Prince," she cries, "my duty's done, no reward I desire, but let me to my home be gone, to cheer my aged sire." She nears the door of her father's home, a chief with trumpets blare, but when she doffs her waving plume, she stands a maiden fair. So as you can see, this goes through how Mulan goes from thinking about joining the military in place of her father to what happens when she actually does, and then to her homecoming and how she comes back home. So she ends up thinking these thoughts way ahead of time because her father has no sons and she doesn't have a brother, so there's nobody else to take on the role of somebody going into the military for their family and representing their family except her, because her dad is too old to go. So she takes on this role, and she is very successful. She's able to battle and get rid of all of her enemies, and she comes back a hero. But she's still a maiden. She's still a woman that wants, a young woman that wants to have like her own family and become someone who takes care of the home, even though she's shown that she's very capable in battle. Okay, so that's it for this read aloud. Go ahead and make sure that you look at the other text with the second read aloud link that's going to be in your schedule for this week.